This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
And we'll be your horror host for this dissection of Mike Flanagan's 2019 epic horror thriller, Dr. Sleep.
Good evening.
So, I didn't really know what to expect from this movie. It had very mixed reviews when it came out. But then, we were going to cover The Shining, and I thought, well, we got to do both. We got to get both of them and kind of make it a two-parter.
Well, I said last episode that I don't like Stephen King adaptions, and I didn't know that this movie even existed, despite it having Ewan McGregor, huge,
and Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, some big names. I did not know it exists. When you said Dr. Sleep, I said, in my mind, that's a corny name for a movie. And then, so I had what you might say extremely low expectations.
Yeah. I had moderately low expectations, especially because neither one of us had our socks totally blown off by The Shining.
Yeah.
But I love this movie. I mean,
it was good.
I'm going to have some criticisms of it, so that's not necessarily, I'm not spoiling my star rating at the end. But I have to kind of I said something last episode about how I thought maybe I wouldn't like Stephen King as a person.
Yeah.
I think Stephen King in this century is a very different person than he was in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe so.
More healed, recovered, done some introspection.
Yeah, because this book was published, in 2013?
Yeah, something like that. 2015. I was thinking 2015, but you might be right, 2013.
One thing I did not expect is that this is a movie about kids. It ultimately, there's a kid in almost every scene.
Yeah.
And there's the final girl is a kid, and the big villain is victimizing kids throughout, and ultimately there's just kids throughout.
Yeah.
Hard pass 99% of the time. I do not like movies about kids.
Yeah.
And this is just a movie about victimizing kids with kids in it. I'm just like, fuck.
We've got the three legs of the Stephen King stool here. We have a psychic child in the form of Abra. We have supernatural child predators in the form of the True Knot. And we've got a writer from New England as Abra's dad.
Yeah.
You've got all three. They're always there. He has certain things he revisits again and again.
And what's that about naming the magic kid Abra? Abracadabra? Come on.
She literally says it's a magic word at her birthday party.
Pure cheese.
Pure cheese?
Yeah. I mean, Stephen King, he's not very original at this point. I know that's like a bold take.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to say that maybe his first 100 novels got most of his creativity out, and now he's just kind of dipping from the same old well.
You think? Yeah, it's something he talks about a lot in interviews that people would always ask him about what happened to Danny Torrance. And so he's always he said he kept track of Danny Torrance in his mind, like where he would be at any given time, like whatever year it is, you're like, where is he at right now? And so this has been gestating in his head for a long time.
Yeah, this one's interesting because they made it they say between 45 and 55 million. Why not just say 50 million? Why you gotta give us the 10 million range?
Oh, because these studios like to fudge things depending on tax purposes.
Yeah, and it box office for 72, so it wasn't a total flop, but it wasn't a success.
Yeah. It was successful enough that Mike Flanagan continues to make Stephen King stuff.
Yeah, he didn't get drummed out of the Good Boys Club, who can keep going back to the Stephen King well.
Yeah, and I think it came out in 2019. Maybe the tide was beginning to turn a bit on the Legacy sequel and things like that, and daring to touch Kubrick, and this movie touches Kubrick all over.
Oh yeah,
is foolishness, right? Like that's not something you should never do this because you're never going to live up to the legend of Kubrick.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Yeah, come on. They even did like the blood elevator thing. They redid the scenes of the tricycle in the hotel.
Yeah, they reshot several scenes from The Shining, and they digitally color graded actual scenes from The Shining to make them different. Like, I think that's all the same helicopter footage from the beginning of The Shining, but they just digitally made it nighttime when they reuse it.
It's like people writing Harry Potter fanfic, how that's not taken seriously, but this somehow we're supposed to take it seriously.
The climax of this movie is it just becomes an homage of The Shining.
Yeah. They never should have gone back to the Overlook. I think that was dumb.
Yeah. Crucially, in the book, the Overlook Hotel burned down.
Yeah.
But the climax of the book does also take place on the grounds, the Bluebird campground, which is where the Overlook Hotel used to be.
And the Overlook burns down at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
instead.
And that's something Flanagan talked about, wanting to reconcile the Kubrick and the King versions of the mythology and have them come together.
It seemed like, in my reading and whatnot about this movie, it seemed like Flanagan is way more of a King purist, and obviously Kubrick is a Kubrick purist.
Yeah.
So he didn't really care about King's material. Yeah. He just wanted a beautiful movie, and Flanagan was trying to make a bridge.
Yeah, he's a King acolyte, I would say. Yeah, a devotee, and crucially, someone that King likes to handle his work. You know what I mean? You see them together, and it's very uncle and nephew sort of vibe between the two of them.
But yeah, that's interesting. I don't really agree with a lot of the choices that were made in this movie.
Oh wow.
That's not to say that it wasn't a somewhat enjoyable movie, but they made a lot of homage choices that just sort of, I was just like literally sitting on my couch and I said, womp womp.
Wow.
While watching it.
We're going to be in very different places because I felt deeply affected by this movie.
Oh, wow. I felt affected as in my 2.5 hours are gone.
Oof, yeah. No, we're on very different planes. This movie healed me. I feel I felt like traumatized almost by The Shining, and there was a real sort of this movie helped me process what the Shining had done.
So the Shining gave me a rash, and this movie put lemon juice on it.
Wow, we're in very different places. Yeah. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's roll the music and get into this dissection. Still traumatized by the horrors of the Overlook Hotel and haunted by past choices, Dan Torrance struggles to maintain sobriety and build a life in a small town. When a young girl with The Shining reaches out for help because there's a clan of psychic vampires that feed on children that shine. Yeah,
the opening for this
movie,
like the Ice Monster prologue, the typical literary thing that novelists do, where we get to meet Rose the Hat as they're preying on a little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. First, you're following the little girl in the campground,
right.
and then you hear somebody singing over by the water, and I'm like, a movie about a kid. Damn it. I got. And then she goes over, and there's this lady singing, and I'm like, don't like singing either. All right, okay. At least it's Lady Jessica of House Atreides, someone I like, and I'll get into this. And then she's like, "Oh, you like my hat? I'm called Rose the Hat. The hat is my identifying character marker. Yeah. I'm going to say it for you and point it out. Why? I'm a terrible author. I don't let these things speak for themselves. I'm going to write a screenplay in which my characters identify their identifying traits."
And that's literally all of the True Knot have that.
Yeah. It's shit. It's terrible. Okay. It's such bad storytelling. Hi, I'm a lady in a weird hat, and my name is Lady with Hat. Okay, cool. Next. Moving on.
Well, moving on. Her clan of camper vampires all feed on this little girl.
Yeah.
They have a little homage to Frankenstein there at the side of the water. This is actually not a scene that's in the book. This is just.
I definitely caught that Frankenstein thing because there's the flowers and there's the water and danger monster. Yeah, I liked that. And the other thing I did like, because I didn't hate everything about this movie. I like the homage to. After Dark, the trailer park vampires. Yeah, I kind of like
It was very After Dark. Yeah, Near Dark.
Near Dark. That's it.
Very near dark.
I like the Near Dark references, like sort of. How these are just kind of like white trash vagabonds. They live in caravans.
Yeah, it's the True Knot is very, very interesting because their whole methodology is based on no one pays attention to like RVers, and they go all over the place.
That's how you know this is pre-COVID.
Yeah,
because now RVs are a menace in every city.
Yeah, and King ties it in the book. He ties it into a lot of lore from his other books. Like he mentions that the True Knot through shell companies has company towns all over, and like Jerusalem's Lot is mentioned. And he talks a lot about the RV park in the book Salem's Lot, about the RV park being kind of this sinister place. And so he circles back to that, and he ties the True Knot to many of the towns that his books are set in, that they sort of pull the strings in these towns secretly.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so he's basically making this kind of a through line.
Yeah, it's one of the True Knot is one of the connecting threads through his universe now.
Yeah. I felt like these guys were kind of a interesting little crew of psychic vampires, and it made me wonder about more psychic vampires in the world. There has to be more competent psychic vampires than these guys.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but
maybe not in America.
It's a complicated. I mean, yeah, because they do they tie it again to to travelers in Eastern Europe, and we'll talk more about that later and what doesn't work. But they do kind of tie it into older mythology, like these people have been, or these empty devils, as Dick Halloran calls them, have been traveling the world, feeding on children for centuries.
Yeah, and they embrace a girl, or they make her into a psychic vampire early on.
Yeah, Snakebite Andy.
Yeah, and so it's cool that they show how they get people into the True Knot.
Yeah,
I like that.
We've got like. It was very hard to summarize this movie because I try to get it as close to one sentence as possible. And there's easily 3 separate plot lines, and they weave through each other. But they're all fairly distinct and have their own protagonist almost. Like Dan is the protagonist of his story. Rose the Hat is the protagonist of her story. And then Abra is the protagonist of her story. And they're all interwoven with each other.
And honestly, only Rose's story was of interest to me.
Because you like vampires.
I like vampires. I also just found Dan not to be interesting. He's just sad. Like there's no action. There's actually, he doesn't actually have much conflict or anything. It's just sort of like him battling his alcoholism, but he finds like a true homie that like takes care of him, and that's cool.
Good old Billy Freeman.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Your dad was an alcoholic, and you just decided to grow up as a junkie too. Alcoholic, and it's inherited. Not everybody can, kick it, but it's just boring because he's just a sad guy. He's not interesting, and he's very sad.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm in here for that sad boy part of this.
Okay.
Like I'm in for the AA meetings. I'm in for Rock Bottom Dan sleeping under the bridge. I'm in for Dan's whole thing, for Dan living in the attic and working at the hospice, like Dan's whole journey speaks to me. I really was into all that.
So I guess I have a different perspective because I come from a family of people with addiction problems, and my dad's a piece of shit, just like his dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I think to myself, I did everything I could growing up to not be like those people.
Yeah.
But Dan just became like those people. He just became a piece of trash.
He did.
He just became
Crucially,
garbage. And it's like, man, I don't respect you. You have no willpower. You're just what your dad was. You're just trash. And so I just was like, man, I don't even want to watch this. And then we switched to Abra's story, and I'm like, yay, Magic Kid. I've never seen a movie about a Magic Kid before.
Oh,
amazing.
Have you not heard of Stephen King? This is his thing.
Yeah, so I was just like, man, this is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I can't believe Nick picked this.
I watched the 3-hour version.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad I didn't watch the 3-hour version.
I think, I don't think you would have got, because the 3-hour version, you have, I think, one more scene with Abra when she's young, when she's much younger.
Pass.
And just extended scenes for the most part, and a few extra ones. There's another scene between Jack and Dan at the Overlook they go into the red bathroom. That I don't think that's in the theatrical cut, but mostly it's just extended scenes that separate the two.
Yeah, I think this, man, like, we're not at ratings or anything, but I think this movie, it's so weird because it has moments where it's just like, oh man, I'm so here for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
And then it's just got like moments where I literally say womp womp, like, out loud.
So give me an example of both. And I usually list off a bunch of people, but everyone is Mike Flanagan. Directed by Mike Flanagan, screenplay by Mike Flanagan, edited by Mike Flanagan, based on a novel by Stephen King. Yeah. So it's really Flanagan and King. This is their deal.
Yeah. So like straight up the opening scene, the Ice Monster prologue, I womp-womped on that one.
Fair. I don't think we need it.
It was cheese.
There's not really the contemporary scene that does that in the book is the scene with them observing Snakebite Annie in the movie theater. Yeah, that's the introduction to the True Knot in the book is them recruiting her. We never get that scene with the kid.
Yeah, and then another scene where I was just like, ugh, was when Dan is, he's with that lady and he's like going through her purse and looking for money, and then he sees that there's like a toddler or a child baby in that room, and I was like, oh God, why are we doing this? Well, it's so like, you were speaking to his character that he's so low down. It literally takes a ghost of Dick Halloran to come and make him like not be terrible.
Well, and he's still crucially, he still takes the money.
Yeah,
he robs this girl, or he rationalizes it to herself.
Because she took his money to buy the drugs.
Yeah, except for he bought the drugs with his own money. But he rationalizes it. He takes the money, and she and the kid end up dying.
Yeah.
So it's his rock bottom. It's the lowest that he's been at.
Yeah.
And the great Carl Lumbly comes in, step into Scatman the Carruthers' shoes as Dick Halloran, and I just love that guy. So anytime he's on screen, I'm like, yes, more wisdom, Carl Lumbly.
Yeah, I think I really, really, and I'm not going to say Scatman didn't do a great job, but I think that Carl Lumbly did a equal job.
Yeah,
it was very good.
That, like, you can at least put her money back, Doc. You can do that much. Yeah, and he just sort of like, ooh, or I could keep it and go buy a bus ticket.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, come on. And it's just one of those things.
Is the scene with her ghost and the ghost of the little boy in the theatrical cut?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Because in the director's cut, for sure, he has like they haunt him, like, because that is the thing that haunts him and actually leads to him getting sober. That is his, like, the lowest of his ebb.
Yeah, and then when you're in the movie theater before Snakebite Andy gets turned, and she's like done the whole To Catch a Predator because she's like 15,
right?
And there's this dude who basically is like just trash, and I'm just like, oh man, why we got to do a child prostitution scene in this movie? Yeah. Why we got to do this stuff, Stephen King? Like,
it's so weird. I'm ready to get on Team True Knot, even though I've seen them like Predator a kid themselves earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the story of Snakebite Andy as just sort of like this radical, like, lesbian vigilante who's going out and scarring men, like sex predators. I'd totally be in the bag for that. Like, if for her, the hero of something. So when she becomes a villain, like, it's like, oof.
Yeah,
I like
they
this
like
girl.
murder little kids and stuff, and
especially because they show it. It is like impossible to root for the True Knot at any point.
Oh yeah, when they're killing the little league kid, and he's like crying and pleading, and they just are like having a jolly good time about it.
It is rough, and and it's much rougher in the director's cut, much bloodier.
Yeah, I guess Rebecca Ferguson had a hard time with that scene.
Yeah, well, I mean,
IRL.
She is like stabbing poor little Jacob Tremblay in the chest and like licking his blood and like doing real evil vampire shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sinister.
It's rough. That's a rough scene.
So I'm trying to find the right criticism without just saying everything's lame.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I think a lot of these things are lame is because I don't think the storytelling effectively makes me invest such that I care and feel sympathy, so that when these things happen, I just think it's cheap tactics.
Oh, okay.
It's not quality, like, oh my word, I'm so like invested in this. I think I care.
Yeah.
They haven't done the work to make me care. And so when they do this just really cheap thrills, like, oh, he robs the lady and her kid dies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, kid hurt, cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work on like anybody, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good storytelling, bro. Tell me again. It's like so not nuanced. It's ham-fisted, and I don't know if I know Stephen King is pretty ham-fisted, but I mean, dang, Mike Flanagan didn't make any of this nuanced or very interesting at all.
Yeah,
it's just like one shot after another.
And I think that this making this story as sprawling as it is, and even to get it down to 2.5, 3 hours, he's cut a lot out, streamlined, like combined characters together. He's done a lot of streamlining. I think this would have all worked a lot better as a show. You know, like something where you had multiple episodes and you could spend time with these characters in a more organic way instead of getting it rapid fire, like you're saying, because we're really hitting bullet points just to get the things that you can't, the things that are absolutely necessary to tell the story, we're getting jackhammered with them. Yeah,
because it feels like the themes here for Danny's story are like addiction, trauma, redemption. Yeah. And it's like, I don't really feel like he earned me forgiving him for being such a piece of trash, because he started going to meetings and working a job that someone gave him. It's like, okay, dude, now do something good. Yeah. You haven't done anything good. You've just ceased to be terrible. Yeah. You have become carbon neutral in this world. Yeah. You are still not worthy of my care yet.
Helping the people at the hospice is the first stage towards that. He's doing something of service, right? And then saving the little girl is the is the final
Yeah,
thing.
and he tries, and he does save Abra basically. And yeah, so I mean, by the end of it, but I think you're supposed to care about Dan.
Yeah.
Somewhere like in the middle. After he's cleaned himself up and he meets her in the park, you're supposed to be invested in these two characters by that point. I still care nothing about either of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, get out of here, annoying girl. And hey, lame guy, you shouldn't be talking to a little girl in a park, weirdo.
Yeah. But he's being the person. He's being the person that Dick tells him to be, right? Like he's being. He said, "When the student's ready, a teacher will." He's like he says at the beginning of when they have their conversation on the park bench. Dick tells him, "You weren't anybody to me before you came into my kitchen."
Yeah,
and then I went back there and got killed to save you. And so he has to follow that same example.
He found his Padawan.
Yeah, exactly. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi after all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I liked this idea of psychic vampires, how they're not actually immortal.
Yeah.
They just, as long as they're feeding, they age more slowly and whatnot. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was a fun mythology.
How fucked up is it that Salem's Lot had both New England Nosferatu and a clan of psychic vampires that infested it?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because they're like, if you just think about other properties, this is just straight up like Harry Dresden style stuff. Because in the Dresden verse, there are different types of vampires.
Right.
They call themselves the different courts. And the true not are white court vampires. White court vampires are not truly immortal, and they feed off the psychic energy of others. Like certain families love fear and pain and all this stuff. And then there are black court vampires, which are like Nosferatus, like Dracula, like Salem's Lot. So it's like, I don't know how long psychic vampires have been in the Stephen King universe, but it's interesting how these ideas can kind of parallel in different properties.
Yeah,
and I think there's room for that. There's room for different types of vampires.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we get a werewolf in here? That would have been cool.
That's Silver Bullet. I think we'll take a little Stephen King break, but we'll get to Silver Bullet sometime next year, maybe.
Is it also a Flanagan flick?
No, Silver Bullet's from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Flanagan would have been a little kid. It's something that Mike Flanagan probably watched when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
So that he became a Stephen King devotee. We've done a lot of King this year.
We have.
And it's been a journey. Like I feel like I'm starting to have a much more holistic picture of him than I had before. You were talking about themes. Let's see. Did you get anything? I
think the mentorship and legacy is a big theme.
Yeah, you got everything. We've talked about everything I have here in my list. I just find it interesting. What doesn't work for you that did work big time for me? Like this stuff. Yeah, I'm just much more on Team Dan from pretty early on. The stuff where Dan is a junkie bum is tough to take. But I think you need that to get. He needs to go that low to finally like pull himself together.
I wasn't even on Team Dan when he was a little kid. I found him to be annoying as hell with this little, like, his imaginary friend and then Red Rum. I'm like, get out of this movie. I'm tired of you.
The weird, I thought that they would get into it in this movie, and they don't, that Tony is grown-up Dan. Like, that doesn't get talked about in this movie at all, or that Dan actually is Abra's uncle. That's something from the book, because her mom Lucy is his half sister.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, that wasn't in the movie.
That's not in the movie at all, and that's something that comes up in the book. There's a lot of stuff that I knew, like I didn't know that part, but I knew that Tony was grown up Dan, and figured that at some point that would get referenced, and they just don't. They don't explain it. They just sort of simplify as much as they can.
Just streamline this. Yeah, I mean, because it would have been a lot less weird if it's like, oh, my niece is contacting me.
Yeah.
I should talk to her.
Well, they don't know it till late in the story.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because because in the book there's a great grandmother character who's just not in the film at all, and she's the source of some of that information.
Gotcha.
And so without her, no one's ever going to say, "Oh yeah, your dad was my daughter's mom," or or not my granddaughter's mom. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in fairness, I guess not in fairness. In just observationally, Abra and her mom don't look anything alike. I assume that was her stepmom.
Oh,
because
okay.
they don't actually say anything about that.
Yeah,
like she has no features in common with the actress. The two actresses have nothing in common, like appearance wise.
Yeah. Well, that's another. It does say that she more resembles her father than her mother, but the mother and Dan are supposed to look a lot alike.
I mean, would it have been impossible for them to find like a mixed actor to play Abra so that it would be realistic that she comes from an interracial household? Because it just seemed like that was stepmom, in my opinion, in my observation. I obviously it's not a big deal, but I was just like, huh. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't really bump against that, but I do see what you're saying.
It was a minor observation that would have been fixed by like one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. You always look so much more like your dad.
Yeah.
Done.
But like, where do you squeeze that little bit of exposition
it's already
in?
Too long.
Because this movie is packed. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you just have to keep up with it and kind of make bridge gaps yourself, because it's not going to have the time to tell you about them.
I just figured it was a deal where they just cast the best people for the roles and just movie magic. You imagine, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, and on that note, the dad and Abra are white in the book.
Okay.
As is Billy Freeman is white and is like in his 70s. Like he's an old New Englander, kind of typical New England Stephen King yokel that speaks in dialect.
Oh, okay.
But
has wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like the guy that Herman Munster in Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
I can't think of what the actor's name is, but it's Herman Munster. Stephen King loves those old New England guys.
Of course. Yeah, so it didn't really bother me. I don't really care about that kind of thing. It just was a story.
Didn't bump against.
I made assumptions in my brain. I just made logical connections that were false.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
Fair enough.
This was just it's a minor thing that they're actually related. That would have been more interesting, but I guess if I really cared, I'd read the book.
Yeah, I would recommend the book. I mean, it doesn't sound like you'd be into it.
No, I'm kind of not into Stephen King books. I did the whole Dark Tower thing, and I loved the beginning, but by the end of it, I just wanted it to end. I just wanted it to end. I was like, when will you finally finish this?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is no, because the Dark Tower just connects everything together, right? It becomes the thing that unites the whole Stephen King multiverse. Mm-hmm. I feel like this was the one where I finally tipped over the edge and became a fan of Stephen King. Like, I have been sort of like, I don't know if this guy's for me. It's sort of nihilistic, and there's something mean-spirited that underpins kind of all of his writing. Mm-hmm. But I think there's been an arc, and he's been working on that across all of it. Like, he said when he wrote The Shining, he was writing that from the point of view of as a functioning drunk.
Gotcha.
And then wrote Dr. Sleep and from the point of view of someone who'd been through recovery. And so basically Jack Torrance was his POV character in the first book. And then now he's Dan. Like Dan is where Stephen King is at in the 2000s.
That's interesting. I wonder how the story would be different if this was like from like Wendy's point of view. Both stories, like obviously not the second. Second story, she's not there, but
I mean, I think he still has a big blind spot when it comes to women. Yeah. I don't think that he quite fully grasps how to write a woman character.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I bumped up against in the Dark Tower. Like, one of the main characters is a woman, and she just makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
Like, she's like no person I've ever met.
Yeah. He's still, when was that? That's in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
That he wrote The Dark Towers. Yeah. He's grown. I think he's grown since then. But yeah, I think that is, there's a lot. I guess we're still in that section. People of his generation have some certain...
And he's solidly a boomer, right?
Yeah. I think so.
He's not old enough to be silent.
No, I don't think so. I think he's solidly a boomer. They have certain fixations. The way they write women, even when they're well-intentioned, is always a little off and objectifying. They have a kind of juvenile fascination with racial slurs that always irritates me. Yeah. Like, there's a character in this who they call it's Barry the Chunk in the movie, but he's Barry the Chink in the book. But he is a white guy, but everyone calls him that ironically because he has squinty eyes or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I'm just like, that's not funny. Like, there's
good on Flanagan for not rolling with that.
Yeah, obviously Flanagan kind of race swapped a few characters and kind of brushes over that because it doesn't land. Like, there's no, you never go, oh, that's funny. They call it, like, it's such a, and like, Tarantino has this racial slur fixation. Oh, yeah. A lot of guys, and I guess he's more Gen X, like he's a bit younger than King, but these guys in that bubble, like there's this, that were like 70s and 80s guys are fixated on the shock value of racial slurs and getting the uncomfortable laugh. Yeah. But even the uncomfortable laugh has fizzled out at this point. It's not even an uncomfortable laugh. It's just a groan. Yeah,
I agree. I'm glad that I didn't know that before. There's already some racial stereotypes in here, like Crow Daddy and stuff that are just sort of like, yawn, next.
Oh, even like, as much as I love DeCaloran, he's the magical Negro trope, right?
Absolutely. He's the epitome of it.
And in this, they take it one step further because he's a ghost.
Yeah.
So but he shows up just to give wisdom, basically, and help the little white boy be a hero.
Yeah.
And and he's the actual heroic one is the thing that's fucked up. And it's like, but I don't want to say I forgive it because I think even sort of positive stereotypes can be harmful when they're used like to objectify people, right? And like make them into a trope.
Or just simplify this whole group of people. Like, he's a Native American guy. He's good at. He can track and he can like hunt and things. And he knows when you're lying.
It helps that he's psychic.
But you know exactly who Crow Daddy is because it's like, oh, a boomer wrote a Native American character and he dresses like that. Yeah. I totally know what you're trying to tell me. This is a given.
Although, I love Crow Daddy.
I like the character too, and I like that actor a lot.
And Reservation Dogs. Like, he's in so much good stuff. And to be fair, Rebecca Ferguson could make me do anything too. I think she'd just be sitting up on the roof of her camper in her Stevie Nicks skirt and say, "Go out and find me this kid," and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And she's like right in our age range too. So it's just like a perfect storm there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is like 40-something Rebecca Ferguson. Yeah, totally.
She's doing pretty good for her age.
For her age.
It's Sweden.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is because she comes from Sweden. They just have the highest quality of life in the Nordics.
Good healthcare.
That's a weird segue into visuals. But we are talking about visuals.
They're good-looking people, not just Rebecca Ferguson, but this is a handsome cast.
It really is. Actually, other than, Barry the Chunk is not much of a looker, but there is mostly very attractive
people. And the
super
old bro, Grandpa Flick, he's past his good-looking days, but That's okay. Everybody else.
When was his good-looking days? When he was at the the Great Northern talking to Agent Dale Cooper?
Yeah, when he was Lurch,
or when he's Lurch for the Addams Family.
Yeah, those were his good-looking days.
Grandpa Flick has always looked like an old ghoul, but it's used to great effect.
Yeah, he's the Boris Karloff of our age.
It is like, I had this thought, and I guess we'll probably talk more about him when we're talking about the cast, but I kind of thought, like, that can't be the guy from Twin Peaks and Addams Family.
It was made so long ago.
Yeah, and then it's like, look it up, and it's like, it is him. He's just like...
He, like, acts into his 70s.
Usually giants don't live a long life, but he's been hanging in there. Up until this, he dies in this movie. But
yeah, but I mean, dude's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, and he's 7 feet tall. That's crazy. Yeah. 77 years old.
I'm surprised they didn't have him play Lurch on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We got a new, younger Lurch. But
that's all right.
Anyways, the cinematography is by Michael Ganari. Sorry.
I thought it was...
Sorry, Italian
I think it's a
listeners.
Silent G like lasagna. It's like Fimonari, probably.
Fimonari. Yeah. Ooh, that rolls off the tongue when you kind of hide the G. Fimonari.
Yeah, I think this is a lasagna style name.
He shoots a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff, like his Netflix shows. I think it looks good. I miss film. It looks very digital to me.
God, that's so pretentious. I miss film. I'm
do.
a film guy. If it could be done in 35 millimeter, that would be ideal.
It would be ideal. I think 70 millimeter Panavision would be ideal, or IMAX, or just even 16 millimeter. I think I associate this digital look with streaming shows.
Yeah, I agree. When I was watching this, I just thought, man, this looks like really modern. This doesn't look like the silver screen.
Yeah.
Like, you can do film and have it look really good nowadays. Like, watch anything that Ryan Coogler has made.
Right.
You know, like,
and he's shooting on film.
Yeah, you can make it look modern.
Yeah.
But on film, to have that quality, that vibe, the different frame rates and all that bring.
Yeah.
Like his YouTube video, Cultists, if you haven't watched it, where Coogler talks about all the different film formats.
Yeah.
Just do yourself a favor. He's really smart.
Yeah. The guy knows a lot about film.
Yeah, he got a degree in it.
I feel like some people get a film studies degree and don't know nearly as much as he does about it.
I think that's the same with most degrees.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'll add that to the show notes. And so the production design by Maher Ahmed and costume design by Terry Anderson. I think the two of them do such amazing work recreating the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, it looks great.
Doing, like, telling stories through people's costumes and all of this stuff, but it has this sort of Netflix-y quality to the visuals because of the digital filmmaking.
Well, I mean, realistically, this movie was made for $50 million, which is not exactly blockbuster material here.
That's true. Yeah. And yeah, shooting on film in that budget is not an option.
It's too much. Yeah. Because with the digital, you just have unlimited space and time and unlimited shots and takes.
Yeah. And I don't want to, because I do think the movie is very well shot, and especially some of the stuff that has to do with like with their mindscapes and the way they kind of turn reality on its side and take over each other's minds.
I like that stuff. Those kind of graphics based effects that let you know that something supernatural is happening without them overtly saying it.
Yeah, I'll talk more about this later. There's this sequence where Rose infiltrates Abra's mind, but Abra set a trap for her. Mm-hmm. I think is something I've seen a lot of. Like, there's a lot of movies that I see GIFs online of, and I go, this movie looks really cool. And most of what I had that for this movie is all from that stuff. Yeah, it's the Dan's apartment does the same thing. The apartment kind of flips on its side, and he falls towards the wall with his chalkboard where he communicates with Abra. I think that stuff's all very, I won't say innovative because it's kind of, I guess, similar to what Nolan does in Inception.
Yeah.
But it's a much more like smaller scale horror version of that than the sort of big Nolan thing.
Yeah, I think that it was cool. It looked good. The movie generally had a cool style, and I like I like how the tone, the palette of this movie was darker and more muted. It wasn't like bright and stark like The Shining.
Yeah,
it was definitely a lot more moody lighting through most of the scenes,
except for when we're flashing back to the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah,
and then
it's bright as hell,
just like The Shining.
Yeah. I think that was skillfully done. I really like that. Because when they're in the Overlook, it's like warm and colorful and bright, but throughout the rest of the movie, it feels really muted.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
I would agree. I when I'm criticizing the sort of digitaliness of it, that is probably much more a budgetary thing than it is anyone's talent level.
Yeah, I think that there are probably Netflix shows with bigger budgets than this. For a season,
or maybe like you said, 50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably actually, because there's probably some shows that are getting close to that 10 million.
Like anything in the Yellowstone universe has a bigger budget than this per season. Dude, they have like Helen Mirren and like all of these huge stars. Have a way bigger.
How many episodes are those, like the Yellowstone spinoffs? Like
8 episodes.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen 1923, the one with Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford, that one might be the best one. It's so good.
I haven't watched. I'm completely ignorant.
You don't have to watch any
Tyler Sheridan universe.
You don't have to watch any of the Yellowstone show, but the prequel ones, the 1883 and 18 something, and then 1923. Yeah, those are good just on their own. Okay, just super good.
Paramount Plus.
What?
They're on Paramount Plus?
Yeah, Paramount, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think those have a higher budget than this whole film, and pretty easily, because they look way better. They look significantly better. And...
No, I'm not going to Google it right now. That's too much of a tangent.
This movie doesn't look bad, but also this is not a movie I would say, this is a good-looking film. Like, we say that about a lot of films. It almost gets to the point where it's like we say it every time.
Yeah.
This is not a good-looking film. It's mediocre.
It looks streamy. I just don't know how else to explain it. And I think it's partially that Flanagan has done so much Netflix stuff, like The Haunting on Hill House. And, I think he's kind of like in that. He knows how to do the sort of Netflix style, and this looks very Netflixy. And that isn't. I mean, it is a negative. I mean that as a negative.
I think he did like a Hitchcock, where he just took his Twilight Zone crew and all of that, and just made a movie.
His Netflix peoples,
he just made a movie with his Netflix dudes,
because that's probably the only way he could do all this stuff he wanted to do affordably is by bringing his Netflix people with him. And then those are the people he's got a shorthand with.
Well, yeah, he speaks their language and vice versa. So, I mean, it makes sense that you work with who you work with, but at a certain point, then you're just going to always... It's like if you're in a band and you're making music with the same people, even if you say we're going to change what we're doing, it's going to sound like the same dudes. Like... What, The Refused are starting a new band with all the same people?
Yeah.
It's going to sound like The Refused doing a different genre, right?
It is impossible to not be compared to yourself, even if you change the name of the band.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, every day is Christmas Eve, and I think that'll probably be interesting music. But
I'll listen to it.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, it is impossible to escape yourself. Which that's totally in keeping with the themes of this movie, right?
So meta
because that, running away from your, like Dan tells Billy that he's running away from himself, and he's like, you bring yourself everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So you cannot run away from yourself. At some points, you have to face yourself and the Refused has to face.
Yeah, they just have to face themselves. They sound like them.
They reinvented hardcore, and it's hard to do twice.
Yeah, they'll have to reinvent a new genre.
A new genre. But man, the segues are just setting themselves up. Let's talk about audio.
Yeah, there's just like... So the score is composed by the Newton Brothers.
Yeah.
Pretty good score. This is like just more Haunting Hill House music, right?
It is, yeah.
It's the same thing?
It's haunted house music, for sure. It is like song fragments, spooky noises. There's a heartbeat motif that underlies a lot of the songs. And I think it has, thematically, it's connected to like the people, like either the kids that are being preyed on or the people in the hospice that are passing away, and the heartbeat kind of matches them in the movie. It's not super listenable on its own, but it is very effective.
Yeah, I mean, good on them. They used a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm pro-gurdy.
Yeah. And that's when you hear those sort of instruments, that gives you a sense of how old the True Knot is, right? Because I assume that the hurdy-gurdy is in one of their sequences, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so that connects you to like the old country, and just like I was listening to it on the drive over here, and it's not like, they're not really songs. They're more soundscapes, and there's song fragments in them. And they deploy Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkine's Shining theme effectively here and there when you want the audience to be in that Shining mode, you can put in that Wendy Carlos synth sound. The Moog creates that. So I think it's really good.
I think that the score and the soundtrack is generally pretty good, but what I don't like here is how it's mixed or whatever, because you have screaming and yelling kids and then whispering adults, like scene to scene. And I was literally holding my remote
to turn the volume down.
I was like, I can't hear them now. Up, 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 up. And now kid is screaming. Rah, rah, rah. I'm like, down, 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 down.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm just like, Jesus, like, I shouldn't have to use smart sound control feature on my TV, because I want to hear it how the director and the editor did it. I don't want post-processing on my end. I want it to be proper.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. It was just like, you fucking jackasses. Why has it got to be screaming and then whispering? I don't want to hear screaming loud.
So sound editor Trevor Gates.
Bad.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't have that experience, but I watched it by myself at home, and I really wasn't like concerned with it being too loud or too quiet. I kind of just had it in the middle. But are you talking about whispering adults as dialogue, or because there's also like
there's like a whisper track kind of in the background.
There is a ghost choir in the Newton Brothers score too, that I think it sort of represents either like kind of howling ghosts or the chanting of the True Knot, or
I mean, there's that, but I'm actually talking about just scene to scene, quiet dialogue, and then screaming loud and all this. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God, you're just driving me crazy here. Like, you take me right out of this Netflix special here.
I think it would have been a better Netflix special than a movie. I think 5 episodes would have done this justice.
Yeah.
Well, we're cruising along. Do you want to get into casting?
Yeah, I mean, they somehow got Ewan McGregor as Dan Torrance, and this seems like a low rent movie for a guy with his name.
It's true. I think he takes interesting projects, and I think that it's
a Stephen King flick. He probably was a fan of The Shining.
Well, and so we talk about playing to type and playing against type. The thing that most of us got to know Ewan McGregor from originally is Trainspotting, right? Yeah. Where he plays a junkie. And so
I'm glad you didn't say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that is not where we first met him. Although that's where a lot of people first met him. Yeah. But that's not where older people first met him. Those
people, I'm not going to say those people are lame, but those people need to watch better movies.
They're millennials or younger.
It's Star Wars movies are not good.
Yeah. Anyways, so playing 2-type, we know Ewan McGregor as a junkie. This is something that, or as an addict, right?
Yeah.
And so you bring that baggage with him. So when you go into recovery with Ewan McGregor, subconsciously you bring Renton from Trainspotting along with you, and that helps with doing legwork on this character.
Sure. I think that he definitely could very easily sink into the character of a drunk.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. And I mean, one scene, I honestly, I think it was like one of his best scenes, and it's only in the director's cut, when he gets his AA chip, or maybe a version of it's in the theatrical cut, but it's longer in the director's cut.
And he gets his like 8-year chip.
Yeah, and he talks about how he didn't, because his dad died when he was 5, not really knowing him truly before he died, but then getting to know him through drinking.
Yeah, that's in the theatrical release as well.
Okay, that is in it. Yeah, and I thought that was really, like, that's not a scene from the book. And it's I thought it was very heavy, and that hit really hard. And I think Ewan McGregor is strong in this. He's strong in everything, but I think it's a really strong performance from him.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I think that he was one of the highlights as far as the casting goes, as well as, of course, Rebecca Ferguson as Rose.
Yeah.
The Hat.
Yeah. It's as diabolical as they are. She brings this sort of preternatural charisma along with her. I mean, she's got that Bene Gesserit training.
Yeah, and I mean, come on, how can you not fall for it? She's a pretty lady with a jaunty hat that weaves murder trophies into her hair.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to how we mortal men are supposed to resist such a thing.
Well, I mean, she's a vampire. We're not supposed to resist.
Yeah. How could Crow Daddy turn away? I don't know. Crow Daddy did nothing wrong.
No, he's actually the hero of this movie.
Yeah. I raged when he went through the windshield of the truck.
Honestly, we haven't gotten there yet, but Billy Freeman and Crow Daddy, those two characters get done rough, and they're two of my two favorite characters.
Billy Freeman lives through the book, and
he just doesn't live,
and he just
randomly gets shot.
Oh, I fucking hate Snakebite Annie for killing Billy. Billy is such a bro.
He's lawful good. He's such a good dude.
Dan shows up, and like when Dan's like, basically gives him he's like, you're a little bit psychic and you know things, right? And he's like, come on, you need to go on an adventure with me.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine, let me get my stuff. And like, he was like, okay, yeah, all right, and I'll go and kill a bunch of camper vampires with you.
And you know it's Billy that has those hunting rifles.
Yeah. Well, because he tells the story, and maybe this is not in the theatrical cut, but he tells the story about it's a traumatic event while he was hunting that made him stop hunting. Yeah,
and he stops hunting. He doesn't hunt anymore. But he still has those nice lever action rifles with the scopes on them. Pretty good.
And True Knot stands no chance to a couple guys up on the ridge just picking him off. Yeah. Billy Freeman. Who plays Billy Freeman?
Cliff Curtis. And he does a great job.
He's someone, like, you have been seeing this guy forever, right? He's a Kiwi, and he's been in a lot of stuff, but it's generally always supporting roles. But he's one of those people where I just have I like this guy. Like, he gives me that sort of immediate feeling when I see him.
Yeah, he just seems like a good dude, and he is in this movie.
Yeah. Who else do we want to talk?
We got Kylie Curran as Abra.
It seems like you didn't like her. I like her a lot.
Oh, she was a totally fine the actress or the actor playing this character. Kylie did just fine. I had no problem with the acting. I actually thought she was pretty good at being like a precocious but also cunning young lady.
Yeah, she's got a darkness underlying her, but there's something. She's also sweet.
Yeah, I just didn't like the writing for this character. I just thought it's just formulaic to have, magic child, final girl, blah blah blah. It's just like, give me something different.
Okay,
it's just not interesting.
And when we're talking kids, he's only in a few scenes, but Roger Dale Floyd as the young Danny Torrance.
Yeah.
I like him better than Danny Floyd in the original movie. I think he's a better actor.
Honestly, and not to cast shade on, shining actors, but I agree. Roger Dale Floyd was better, and I also thought that Alex Esso as Wendy Torrance, I liked her better.
Ooh, that one maybe is controversial.
I liked her. She was great.
She has some really good scenes, like the stuff with her and Danny after they've left the Overlook and they're sitting on, and she's just trying to cope with the shit that she's been through. Mm-hmm. And it's not a lot of dialogue; it's just face acting. But like she brings it. She brings it really hard. Like you see her trying to connect with her son, but also being scared of him, and it's really heartbreaking. And and that's an iconic role. It's next to impossible to step into those shoes, and I think she does an admirable job.
Yeah, I really thought she did a great job. I felt like I could really identify with Wendy. I mean, I really liked Shelley Duvall's portrayal as well. So it's hard. They're just great.
And I mean, that segues nice to Henry Thomas as the ghost of Jack in the hotel.
Oh yeah, that character, that Henry Thomas's portrayal as Lloyd,
the bartender,
Jack. Oh man, that was good.
That shit's heavy. Like that's another one of those. There's a bunch of sequences in this movie, like that are just acting, and they're usually one or two handers, but like Dan trying to make some sort of connection with his father while his father's very much fully in the grip of the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, his dad is a devil.
Yeah. But then like he does some things, like he slaps the drink away.
Exactly.
And so you do have this sense that Jack Torrance is in there somewhere perceiving this stuff if he's unable to control himself.
Absolutely. I think that that was a really good portrayal.
And this is I don't know what to call it. Put this in the column of just cast people that resemble the actors and don't digitally de-age people, because that's distracting.
I agree.
It's actually better to have someone and just through costume, hair, and makeup give the impression of the character from the movie than it is to bring in Jack Nicholson and digitally de-age him, and then he's going to sound like a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, I'm all for having Henry Thomas do this and not Jack Nicholson. That was the right call. And it was also the right call not to do a bunch of like digital necromancy in scenes.
Because when they do that, not to bag on the Star Wars movies.
Joe, no, bag on the Star Wars movies. They're not good. So
Rogue One, I love, right? But Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin looks like he's made out of Play-Doh, and so does Princess Leia at the end. And you just could have done that better. Millie Bobby Brown, you could put her in the white Princess Leia robe and the donut hair, and you're golden.
Or let her daughter do it.
Yeah. Billie Piper, right? That's her name? Yes.
That would have been just fine.
Exactly.
We all would have been like, oh, and they had her daughter do it.
Yes,
it would have been more touching.
That is better than they go, ooh, that doesn't look great. And that, like, and it just pulls you out. Even if it's just a split second, it pulls you out.
Absolutely.
But this scene works better with a real actor and not a CGI monster.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we already talked a little bit about Carl Lumbly as Dick Halloran.
I fucking love Carl Lumbly.
He's good in everything, right?
He is so good. He's so good.
He's pretty much infallible. He's one of those dudes, like you see him like pop up on the screen and you're like, this is going to be good.
Yeah, no matter what. He's one of these guys, consummate professional, shows up and brings it no matter what material he's working with.
Absolutely.
And yeah, he's so good in it. And then as he comes, he's still in the book because that character doesn't die.
Yeah.
He's actually alive in that scene on the park bench in the book.
Oh, wow.
And then the other times that he shows up, it is more as a ghost sort of thing, or as a voice that Dan hears. But yeah, he's the Jiminy Cricket, right? That shows up to be Dan's conscience and tell him the stuff that he already knows, but to tell him what he needs to do and be that voice of wisdom. And he's the perfect guy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got next Zahn McClarnon as Crow Daddy.
Yeah, who is awesome.
He's great. He's so good, and the way he's sinister but charming, and the way he never he's so in love with Rose.
Yeah.
And it's again just mostly just through performance, through his face and tone of voice, the way he looks at her, the way he interacts with her. It's a very small role that he just makes the most of. And it's so different than the version. I mean, the things I know him most are as playing kind of like a goofy sort of Mayberry cop on Reservation Dogs.
Yeah, he's great in that show.
Yeah, or then he plays like a more serious cop on another show, but I kind of have this sense of him.
Dark Winds.
A sense of him as this lawman sort of thing. So seeing him as this sinister, the sort of the front man for this organization of vampires.
Yeah, did you know he's a voice actor in Red Dead Redemption 2?
Is he in 2 or 1?
I think it was 2. Maybe it was 1,
or maybe both.
Yeah,
probably both.
Because they I think Rockstar did a good job. They found native people to do native voices, so that's cool.
He's another one. It's a small role, but like Carl Lumbly and like Cliff Curtis, I just instantly when I see these guys, I'm predisposed towards them.
Yeah, he's good. I like that character. Yeah. And then we got kind of the true knot, right?
Yeah.
All these people. We got Emily Allen Lind as Snakebite Andy. Great performance. Hated the character. Because I liked her as a vigilante, but then she did a total heel turn and just became a baddie.
Well, and so you mentioned Near Dark. She seems like, I can't remember the girl, but the girl in Near Dark, right? Who's sort of like the reluctant vampire.
Yeah.
I assume she is going to be in that role because she's someone we first encounter her as a protector of children, right? Mm-hmm. She's out there going after guys that prey on young girls, right?
Yeah.
To then become a child predator is it's so
oh man, it's so bad.
It's such a betrayal to the character itself that we were introduced to.
Yeah.
That it's hard to sort of rectify and hard to stomach.
It's even more stark than the Hulkamaniac to Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
the heel turn. She doesn't. Yeah, because even when you see her, when they turn her and she wakes up on the beach after she's been unconscious for 3 days or whatever, and you have there is that moment of buyer's remorse that you see, and you think, oh, she's going to be the one in the group that when they go after this little girl, she's going to be the one that turns on them. And she doesn't. She's the worst of them.
Yeah, she's the last, except for Rose, to die.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And she has Billy kill himself.
That's the worst.
Yeah. And it's I mean, that's... We're not of the same mind in a lot of things in this movie, but that character makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, she's just crazy. She doesn't make any
no internal consistency at all.
It just doesn't make sense at all. I mean, we had Robert Longstreet as Barry the Chunk. Didn't like that character at all.
No,
the acting was fine. Carol Stroiken as Stroiken as Grandpa Flick.
Him I like.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Because in the movie they don't really talk about his origin, where how old he is, but I was reading online how through the years he will always just say like, oh, I fought in this war.
Yeah.
But it sort of advances as time goes on. And the wiki said that he was like in like some Teutonic War or something. Like he's from the Middle Ages.
He's ancient. He's the oldest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just croaks. He doesn't get enough juice.
Yeah, they say in the book that he's old enough to remember when people in Europe worship trees.
Yes.
And so he's very old. But they can't live forever. Even when they're taking steam, they don't live forever.
Yeah.
And he just runs out. And that's a great scene actually, when as he dies, and they're all very sad, but when he gives up the ghost, they all like jump on there,
chomp it,
and eat the steam up.
Full on diablerie.
Yeah,
that was good.
Grim, yeah, but they're in desperate times at that point as they're starting to die off.
Cannibals.
Yeah, we haven't talked Bruce Greenwood as Dr. John Dalton. He kind of a combination character. He's a few characters in the book combined into one person.
So Stephen King wrote way too many characters in his book? You don't say.
Oh God, there are a lot of characters who they're like, this guy can do that role too. He doesn't. That does not need to be a whole distinct guy. Yeah, there's a lot of combinations. But he does have that cool sequence that's a recreation of Jack's interview from The Shining, when Dan interviews for the hospice with them.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same office with the impossible window and the American flag. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
We got Jocelyn Donahue as Lucy Stone, and we know her from Parks and Rec, right? That's where most people know her from.
Is she on Parks and Rec?
Or am I just totally...
Are you thinking of Rashida Jones?
Yeah, I am. She looks very similar.
They do resemble each other.
What has she been on? I guess she's been in a few things. Yeah, she was fine. I didn't think that she was totally amazing, but she was all right. Just it's a tiny role. It's hard to make it amazing.
Yeah, I think Zachary Momo as Dave Stone, Abra's father, gets more acting to do. And has the totally believable and correct reaction when Uncle Dan shows up at the house.
I'm surprised he stopped and didn't just level him.
Yeah.
It's like, get a child predator, come to my house.
Yeah. His daughter put the psychic whammy on him and showed him a little boy getting murdered, and that does kind of stop the argument.
I think that is... I think that putting the psychic whammy on people without their consent is that's morally wrong. Yeah.
Well, she was supposed to do it before they got there. That was the thing, but she didn't want to do it and thought they could talk through it without showing him, right?
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to put him through that. But he was never going to buy these two guys showing up and like, we're going to take your daughter.
We're going to take your kid. Just no big deal.
Yeah. We're going to go hunting vampires with your kid. Yeah. No, I thought...
Nothing could go wrong.
I thought he did a really good, believable job as the dad.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
That's pretty much it. There's a couple...
Yeah, I mean, I've got like the whole list of the no dialogue True Knot people.
Yeah, they really don't really matter.
Yeah, and then the people that play the Overlook ghosts.
Yeah.
Lookalikes to the people from The Shining. Yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
Wrap up, personal highlight.
I mean, I think it has to be when Dan is at the Overlook and he's in the Gold Room bar and he's talking to the bartender and it looks like his dad, and he keeps saying, I'm just a bartender or whatever. And
I don't know what you mean, Mr. Torrance.
Yeah, and he offers the drink and then he slaps it away and says, I'm not. That's the most powerful moment in the movie. It's probably not like the coolest, most action-y thing that happens. But it actually is the most powerful. It has the most gravity. It's essentially Dan's redemption moment. It's where he turns his back on being a garbage man.
Yeah, he does not do what his dad did.
Yeah, who begged for the drink.
Yeah.
And he slaps it away. He rebukes the Overlook.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my favorite moment. How about you?
Yeah, and I will piggyback on that a little bit in that Jack's ghost is more involved in the climax in the book. He helps them fight Rose.
Oh.
Which they don't do in the movie because they just have all of the ghosts like swarm her.
Yeah.
Which is much more horror movie and like
it's a cool scene when they all like rah,
yeah, that's much more visually interesting than
it reminds me of
Jack pushing her off a ledge, which is what happens in the book.
Yeah, because like it's just like the scene in Interview with the Vampire in the Theater to Vampires when they all swarm on the lady on stage. It's just like that.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And then like they eat her ass up. And Dan watches, and then they're like immediately go for him too.
Why he wasn't running?
Yeah,
it's like,
because he was fascinated. Like
it's like if you're running from a bear and you push someone down, so the bear is gonna eat them. You don't stop and watch the bear eat them.
Yeah,
you just run.
Yeah, bad move, Dan. Yes, you picked a good one though. My personal highlight is when Abra catches Rose the Hat in her mind. I fucking love this scene so much. Like first of all, when Rose astral projects, they do Clockwork Orange homage, like her face, she leans forward and does the Kubrick stare and kind of moves into the camera.
Yeah. And
her hat kind of looks like the bowler hat, and it's like the opening of Clockwork Orange. And then she flies like through the sky and goes into Abra's bedroom, and she's just like peacocking around the place and going through Abra's file cabinets of her mind, right, with all her memories in it. And she's just talking shit to herself, like, oh, you steamheads, you don't think you're so smart with your little boxes, blah, blah, blah. And then the drawer shuts on her hand, and she turns around, and Abra's got the blank face and just the, like, no eyes and just a grinning mouth. And it's like, no, bitch, you're in the horror movie. Script is flipped on you, and then Abra's going through her mind, and it's not like her mind palace is more sophisticated. It's a library instead of file cabinets, but it's like the same sort of thing. And to see the tables turned on the victimizer is just like so satisfying. It's same thing when they're shooting all of the vampires and they're all like cycling out and turning into steam. It's so good, like the sort of justice being done.
It kind of made me think, like, those two parts, it made me think, man, I overestimated these vampires, because this little girl who may be very strong with the force, she was able to just like wallop this old, strong, powerful, experienced vampire, like beat her at her own game. And Abra's essentially untrained. Yeah. She doesn't have any ability. So I just thought, okay, Rose is just two-bit idiot. And then when like the traveler, when the True Knot are just getting down by a single shot each one, I'm like, you're no kind of vampire if one bullet takes you out.
Yeah, it's because they're hanging by a thread at that point.
They're so weak in the steam.
Yeah, and there's a whole subplot of how they start getting measles after the baseball kid. And that's what killed Grandpa Flick, and that's what kills Barry the Chunk is the measles, because they're all ancient and
pre-vaccines.
Yeah,
and the kid had measles.
Yeah, and so none of them have any immunity towards the measles, and in their weakened state, they're vulnerable to it.
Gotcha.
Which smartly the movie does away with it, because it's another layer of complication that the story just doesn't need.
So at what point, if you're Rose and Crow Daddy, when do you start just cutting people because it's too many mouths to feed. Like, you keep the old man because he's the old man, but you can get rid of Barry the Chunk. You can get rid of Bradley. You can get rid of some of these lesser. You keep Snakebite Andy because she has a really useful power.
She's a pusher.
She can get you more food. She will pull her weight. Yeah. But a lot of these other ones, they're just empty mouths. Just cut them loose.
So the book explains a lot of this, like the different roles. Yeah. Because like Barry the Chunk is a finder.
Oh, okay.
And he's really good at tracking people psychically and at computer stuff. Although they have several like computer hacker guys too.
Okay.
Like Jimmy Numbers and stuff like that. Like they all have functions.
There's all a use,
and there is redundancies. Like there's levels of like Grandpa Flick is one of the very best finders, and then there's several finders kind of down the line. So as Grandpa Flick cycles out, they have other finders. And so there is...
I guess they weren't very good finders if they're all starving.
That's true, but there's less steam. They talk about that too. Or maybe that's
they do say that people are getting more rarer and rarer as time goes by.
And there's a really troubling thing about how like mental health medications and stuff suppress the steam or taint it. And it's like, I don't know if that's a good message. Like this, it's like...
Is there like an anti-medicine, anti-vax message in this movie?
Although there's like the pro-vax because they get killed by measles.
That's true.
But it's just, it's a little muddy. But anyways, that is my favorite scene.
All right.
It's
a good scene.
When Abra flips the script on Rose and traps her hand in the file cabinet and she goes flying off the top of the camper. And I love that. What worked for you?
I thought Ewan McGregor's performance was really good. I come to expect really good performances from him. He's a high caliber actor. I thought he portrayed trauma really well. Yeah. He did a pretty good job of redemption. I mean, that was my favorite scene, was his ultimate redemption scene
with his dad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also thought, Rebecca Ferguson was like a truly excellent villain. She's really good at being sinister. And I thought that performance was probably the best performance of the movie. I think that she was just awesome. And then the last thing, I like vampires. I'm generally for a vampire movie. I like the style, After Dark style with the RV convoy and all of this. I think that I would have enjoyed a movie about the True Knot. You could just leave Danny out of it. I don't really need a movie about Danny. So, yeah. Okay. What about you? What worked for you?
Themes. First of all, I think King is clearly in a very different place mentally and emotionally than he was when he wrote The Shining. And it feels like this story is him sort of processing and moving on from that phase of his life. And I felt also, like, as a viewer / reader, like I needed something to sort of process and move on from The Shining.
Yeah.
And so I found that very resonant. I thought the homages to The Shining and Kubrick were really well done. And it's a good example of how to do nostalgia film correctly. I think they do a really good job with that. And then I think the cast, Ewan McGregor and Carl Lumbly, are both favorites of mine. And Rebecca Ferguson is great. And I really liked Kylie Curran as Abra. And I think she's going to be around for a long time, I think.
Sure, yeah.
What didn't work for you?
This is a slow and boring movie. The pace is bad, and there is not much horror to be found.
Yeah.
There aren't even scenes with, like, tension very much. It's just sort of like sad, then something violent happens. Sad. Okay, sad, some people say something. Okay, this is like, it wants to be a psychological thriller like The Shining, but it's not. It's just boring as fuck. Also, the True Knot, they're shit villains. They're weak. They're not threatening. Like, literally, you could just beat their ass. Like, they're not good villains. Like, maybe Rose is threatening because she has these awesome psychic powers or whatever.
Yeah.
But these guys give corny CW show vibes. They give like outcasts from an X-Men script that didn't make the cut. Like this is just like, they all have stupid names. They're not interesting or cool. There's like 3 of them that you remember, really.
That's true.
And it's just like, wow, okay, give me more about them if you want me to care, because at this point, don't care. And then lastly, this is fanfic. It relies on The Shining too heavily, recasting all these people, reshooting whole scenes, recreating places. This is cinematic necrophilia. They're literally just fucking Kubrick. And it wasn't good. Okay. What about you? What didn't work for you?
I call this a classic case of 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. There is more here to explore than fits comfortably in a film.
More than fits in the colostomy bag.
Yeah. There was a point, I think I paused it to go to the bathroom, and I had that sense of like, probably I'm close to the end of this movie. And there was a full...
It's like an hour left.
There was a full hour left. And granted, I'm watching the director's cut, which is like 3 hours long. But it's like, at 2 hours, you do have that sense, like, the movie's done soon, I assume, And like, I hit pause and saw there was a whole hour left. And I was like, holy shit. And it's like, oh, it's because we have to do, like, the entire final 30 minutes of The Shining over again.
Yes.
And so... And it is like... That's just more like, that's an episode. That Shining homage is an episode of a TV show, right? Turning Snakebite Andy is an episode of a TV show. The Baseball Boy is an episode of a TV show. Like, this story, in order to do it justice and to build...
This could have been an 8-part miniseries.
Yes, and then you could develop all the characters and really spend time in all of the different eras that it goes through, and really do everything justice. But there's something like when you say that it's not paced well, when you take when you have something that's 3 hours long but is also speed running the content, there is this sort of dissonance you experience there, right? Where you're like, this is long but fast, and I don't it doesn't compute. So you need like either less stuff or more time, like to do that justice.
Absolutely.
And then I think there is a sort of the G word, gypsy.
Oh yeah.
There is this sort of connotation. They're very Romani coded. Their camper, like Rose's camper, has sort of all the accoutrement of the European traveler, and even her top hat and their names and the sort of the way they scam people and things like that. It's all playing on these really toxic, ancient, terrible racist stereotypes.
Sure.
And
it's crazy that a boomer wrote that.
Right? It's like, what if they're gypsies? And it's like, oh God. Like,
what if they're child preying gypsies? Everyone will hate them.
Right? It's fucking blood libel. Like it's like this ancient evil stereotype that is so toxic. And even though I do like that character, Rose, I'm sort of aghast that they're doing that in 2019. Like that she's like a traveler in a caravan preying on children. It is such a gross stereotype. And it's like, and it's racist, and it's pretty fucking awful.
Yeah.
And so that just like, when we go into her camper, there's this sort of initial like, I go, oh, that's cool, and then it's like, oh, but this is really bad.
Yeah,
like it's really
tasteless.
They really ought not still be doing these tropes in this day and age. They never should have been. But we can say people in the past didn't know better, but Mike Flanagan certainly knows better. So anyways, yes, negative portrayal of Romani travelers in fiction. Enough already. We don't need any more of that. Final thoughts and ratings. I'm curious to hear what you're going to say.
So I went on a journey with this movie because there were times when I was thinking like, okay, this is a 3. This could impress me. There could be some moments that really move this to a 4, move the bar. Because I really like vampire movies, and there are some really good performances in this movie.
Yeah.
But once you get to the Overlook Hotel, and then you have Dan has his scene with his dad, I was like, okay, we're wrapping up at this point, because that was the climax of the movie. And then you fight and kill Rose, and then I'm like, okay, now we're done, because that is the hero is redeemed, the villain is destroyed. Oh no, but we're going to have Dan get attacked and possessed, and then he's going to go after her and blah, blah, blah. And just like, oh man.
You're right. That is after they've already killed Rose.
And it's just like, do we need this? Why am I still watching this? The movie ended. Dan was redeemed. He denied the devil's offer. They killed Rose. All of the True Knot are dead. We're done here.
Yeah.
And then more happens, and then it's like, okay, and then the final girl watches the place burn down and blah, blah, blah. And we're just like,
you need that part.
And I'm just like, geez, gosh, why? This is tired. Okay. This is bad. This is like every negative thing about King's writing just kept coming up. And in the last 30 minutes should have been the triumph. But it was when they go back to the Overlook and they just rehash and retread and never stop. It's like, get over yourself. So this is a 2-star movie.
Ooh, okay.
If you give this a 5, this will be our last episode.
I'm not at a 5.
Go ahead. What'd you rate it?
I rated it a 4.
Okay.
I fully loved this movie. Not just like a little bit. Like I really, really love this movie, and it has been kind of stuck with me for like a week.
Wow. I would challenge any cultist out there who has 2.5 to 3 hours of time to spend. Please watch the movie and then comment on this and tell us what you think.
Yeah, see where we
are so far apart, because I just thought this was like a time waster, and you loved it.
Yeah. And not even like a little, like fully loved it. Like I was like heavy into it. This is one of my favorite things we've watched.
This is like when
the podcast all year.
It's like when you're talking to someone and you make a new friend or whatever, and they tell you that they're really into real dolls, and you're just like, that's what you're telling me. That's like the equivalent by saying you loved this movie.
Yeah. Ugh. I did. I love this movie. And it's
it's like The Shining was like a real person, and this is the real doll.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. I don't feel that way.
All right.
But usually this is where you talk about the reviews, and it's extremely mixed.
Yeah, I mean, it goes, so IMDb gives it 7.3. Rotten Tomatoes, which is a wonky system, 78%. But that's not really valid. Metacritic gives it 59.
Okay.
I think probably a 3 is the most accurate score this movie would receive.
Yeah.
The fact that it won 0 awards, had 0 nominations. There was like a Juno or a Saturn or some minor nothing award given to the little girl.
Yeah.
That's fine. But there's a reason why no one talks about Dr. Sleep on Ewan McGregor's list of greats or anybody, because it's just super forgettable.
Well, it was like I had always, because I'd read a lot of negative reviews of this, and just had not really thought. didn't really think it was worth the time. I messaged Cultist Ted before when I was plotting this out, and I asked him, I was like, do you think Dr. Sleep is worth covering? Because he's kind of I think of the cultists, he seems to be the Stephen King head of all of them. Oh
man, I thought more of you, Ted.
Yeah, and Cultist Ted was like, yeah, I think there's something there as long as you're getting into the lore, the King lore. And I went all in on it and listened to both of these books, The Shining and Dr. Sleep, and like I went in on the King lore.
All right,
and I've learned a lot of King lore.
It's one of those things that I just don't think his lore is very good.
Yeah, he's an interesting writer and an interesting guy. I've been on a journey with him across these films because what did we do? We did 2 Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
We did The Running Man, and then The Shining and Dr. Sleep. So we've done 5 King adaptions in very close proximity to each other.
Yeah.
Maybe that was too much. Maybe this has been a little too much King, and we're starting to feel it. Like we need to get out of here.
I mean, at this point, I have a higher opinion of the Burger King.
Burger King's done nothing wrong by me. You go for a flame broiled Impossible Whopper right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we roll the music and we'll come back with the Vault of Darkness. Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people and leave us a review wherever you listen.
Hey, and also shout outs to new cultist Rob, who's been like going deep into our back catalog.
Heck yeah.
And commenting on videos on YouTube. He was like, I had to look twice. It's like, oh, you're going back to the deep dive of the meta era and listening to our very first, our Dune episode.
Oh, man, that's a good episode.
And our interview with the vampire episode. Yeah, he's delving deep into the back catalog. And so
that's awesome.
Welcome to the cult, Rob. We appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, so you got any news for us?
I've got no dark tidings. What about you?
No, nothing crazy.
Okay. What are you pulling out of the vault?
So, I'm a creature of habit. I'm really, some people might call me predictable, but I like to think of myself as reliable.
Okay.
So I'm going back to the well because there's a new season or campaign. I've talked about Critical Role before.
Yes,
I am a longtime critter. But here's another thing I don't think I have brought up is Dimension 20, which is a different live play. It's kind of the second biggest actual play show, but the difference is largely that Dimension 20 is pre-recorded and edited for brevity. Like you don't have like big and like waiting for lots of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing up both of these is Critical Role just started a brand new campaign 4. Their campaigns last usually 3-ish years or 2 to 3 years. They're 10 years in and campaign 3 just ended and this is campaign 4.
Okay.
And the reason there's a big crossover with this Dimension 20 thing is for the first time ever in the life of Critical Role, probably the most famous dungeon master in the world, Matthew Mercer, is not dungeon mastering this campaign. He is a player in this game. And they brought in my favorite online dungeon master, Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20, and also he's done a couple of mini series for Critical Role, and he is running this new mega arc, this new whole campaign, and this is a crazy one because this is a West Marches style campaign. And so if you're not deep in the old lore of Dungeons and Dragons and you don't know what a West Marches game is, A West Marches campaign is the style of campaign where there are multiple tables of players, multiple groups of adventurers playing in the same continuity and the same timeline, and there are often players who go from table to table. In this game, there are 13 players and then the Dungeon Master. You have all of the classic Critical Role players and the Dungeon Master, who is now a player.
So is this campaign 4?
This is campaign 4, Critical Role. And we got some brand new people to the main stage who've been in some of their side stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Luis Carrazzo. He's the Dungeon Master for Tales Unrolled, which is another live play series that features all Latinx players and Dungeon Masters, and it plays in that Central American mythology. Super good series. Robbie Damon, who also has been in a Critical Role miniseries and the prologue of Campaign 3. Abria Iyengar, who comes from many, she's like an online play celebrity who's been in many things. She's also a very, very good Dungeon Master. And then we also have Alexander Ward, who comes from the live play world of Vampire the Masquerade games.
Oh, okay.
And these are all, this is like an all-star lineup, and there's like 3 campaign groups going simultaneous, and they cross, and there's things happening. There are only a few episodes in, and I'm already here for it.
So how does that work
with enthusiasm?
Structurally for an episode? Like, does one episode follow one table, or how are they breaking that down?
Here's how it starts off. The first few episodes, you have Brennan sitting in the Dungeon Master chair, and this is like the prologue where everybody's meeting. And
they're getting the band together.
They're getting the band together, and it all centers around the death of one guy.
Okay.
Somebody's brother, somebody's former friend, former military friends of all these other people. And there's like kind of a solving the mystery aspect. So Brennan is sitting at the table, and he calls players in, and they sit, they run a scene, and then he exchanges who's playing. And for the first few sessions, it's all kind of revolving cast. But then from there, after that, they're sectioned off and doing things, and you have like 3 to 5 people at the table, and it follows just that little group for a whole session and a whole episode.
Okay.
So you kind of get to know all of them in the beginning and how they know each other and all this stuff. And then after that, it's kind of follows like micro storylines. Like, honestly, Dr. Sleep could have been a West Marches game with 3 groups.
Yeah, that would make total sense.
I mean, and then they all come together at some points here and there, and you cross over here and there. So it's basically like that kind of storytelling, but in D&D. And I'm here for it. So everybody, you can watch the episodes for free on YouTube. Okay. So they air live on YouTube on Thursdays. And then they put out the VOD on Mondays. So you wait a few days if you don't catch it live, but then you get the VOD and you can watch the whole video, whole thing on Mondays.
YouTube link then too.
Totally worth it. They also are on Twitch, and they have their own streaming platform thing called Beacon, but whatever. Everyone uses YouTube.
Okay.
So what about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
So there was something about this movie that reminded me of an old movie from when I was a kid.
Nice.
That is Stephen King's Cat's Eye, directed by Louis Teague from 1985. And you might remember this. It's an anthology movie. It's 3 stories that are not really connected to each other, except for there is this tabby cat called General, who and Drew Barrymore's character, who sort of loosely connect the 3 stories, and they're central to the 3rd story. Okay. And the first 2 are based on existing King short stories, Quitters Incorporated and The Ledge, and then the final one, General, which is the one that people remember, I think, the most from this movie, is original to the film. And the thing that made me think about this is because there's a little troll in that movie that sucks the breath out of Drew Barrymore's character.
Oh,
very much
like psychic vampire.
Yeah, he feeds on her steam. And so that, at least the visual component of that, is something King has been playing with going all the way back to the 80s.
Well, I mean, that's like a famous thing. Cats are called breath stealers.
Yeah, but the cat is protecting her. The cat is the good guy, and he is a pretty good cat. It's a really great cat. He looks
That's
like
a high quality kitty.
He's a very high quality kitty. He looks just like my cat Theon, and
with that big head.
Yeah, and he protects little Drew Barrymore from this troll that wants to steal her steam.
Nice.
And spoiler for that movie from 1985. But that third, I can't remember the first two interstitial or the first two stories in that movie at all. I only remember the one about the cat and the little girl and the troll.
Nice.
But that has stuck with me my whole life from when I saw that movie as a little kid. And so I think it fits in nicely. Like, it seems like it goes into this same, it's another, like, a little side branch on this mythology that's being explored in Dr. Sleep.
Nice.
There's other things out there that feed on the steam out of these kids,
and we're both on the triple narrative storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Except for the stories don't interweave, except for that the cat passes through all of them.
Okay,
yeah. But yeah, Stephen King's Cat's Eye. I know I just said we're kinged out, but what's one more? What's one more king? You're going to watch Running Man when that comes out, or came out last month when you're listening to this podcast? What's one more king?
Yeah, there's always room for more king. Yeah. He's like the Cosby of horror.
Yeah, he'll put that as a little tagline in his next book for sure. The Cosby of horror. Cover your drink when you're around Stephen King. Don't sue us. I'm really becoming quite a fan of yours, Mr. King. You've lost David, but you picked me up.
You know, honestly, his book on writing is super legit, but some of these stories don't follow his own advice.
Yeah, that's at some point, I think
he just goes.
You become a victim of your own success.
He goes free jazz. Like, he knows how to play it right, but he just goes free.
Yeah, there's something about when someone's really wailing on that saxophone, though, and the trumpet comes in discordantly alongside of it.
Yeah, it sends shivers up your spine.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, man, solid gone. Like, this is far out.
Yeah, you liked it, and I was, and it was a brown note for me.
Yeah, it is very much like. We were watching a band and the guy came out with the saxophone and I'm like leaning in and you're like, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I literally leave. I hate saxophone.
Do you like the saxophone solo? Dr. Sleep is a saxophone solo of a movie.
That's a perfect title for this episode. We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
Until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.